Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. First, I want to say thank you. We have over 25,000 subscribers right now, and it's growing very well, very nicely, which is very uplifting, very gratifying, because the way we present marriage, the way we talk about marriage, is so different from virtually everyone else. Our views on marriage are based on what, to me, is common sense. That marriage is supposed to deliver off-the-charts happiness, off-the-charts love, but no one taught us that growing up. And so we don't know what to expect when we get married. We don't know how to be married, and that's the truth. And the proof of that is that there's an over 50% divorce rate. And if you were to stand and ask people anonymously, are you happy in your marriage? 8 out of 10 will go, they aren't really happy in their marriage. Well, you're supposed to be. Even when we have topics like this come up, which is how to overcome paranoia in a relationship, everything can be strive for in the correct way if you know what you're striving for. And what you're striving for is always universal. We're human beings. We want happiness and we want love. That's it. So what if, and I'm going to address this paranoia from both sides. The first side is, what if your partner is paranoid? But if that's the case, I'm going to address the other side too. What if you're paranoid? And I want you to stay with me for both sides, because what you're going to learn is powerful information. It's knowledge we're not taught. So we're not talking about schizophrenic paranoia. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a partner or a spouse, your husband or your wife, who's constantly fearful that you're doing something behind their back. Usually that something is entertaining the idea of being with somebody else. And when you're on this side of that, when it's your partner who's paranoid, you can feel attacked, but you shouldn't. What you should be doing, and I'm going to explain this in more depth, but I'm going to begin with what you should be doing is recognizing that your partner is feeling insecure. It isn't your fault, but if you love them, insecurity is tremendously burdensome. You want to do everything in your power to not trigger them, first of all, because you love them. You don't want to just go, he or she is just paranoid, I can't take this, blah, blah, blah. No. If you're their soulmate, you're supposed to be really concerned with how they're feeling all the time. And so you don't want them to experience the agony of fearfulness. Let's take out the word paranoia and let's just call it fearfulness, insecurity. It's harsh. It's a harsh way to live. So you might be going, I'm getting blamed for this. I didn't do anything. He or she went through my phone. He or she does this. He or she does that. You're talking about them as if they're your enemy, as if they are intentionally looking for ways to burden you with their fears. But that's not the right way to look at it. You should be looking at it as this is a weakness that they are carrying, and it's hard for them. When you shift your perspective in that way, when you put your love for them ahead of your paranoia that you're being attacked, it changes everything. Changes everything. Because now you could deal with it in a much more realistic way. Realistic means when you are with your soulmate, realistic means that you're living your life on that highest plane of consciousness called love, which means you're being loving, which means you care for them much more than when your mind is telling you you're being unfairly treated. Screw that unfairly treated. You're never unfairly treated unless you're standing in front of a bullet that is being fired and you're not moving out of the way. The bullet is not about you, even when you're being attacked as the deceiver, the liar, the one who is practicing infidelity. Unless you choose to be attacked, you're not being attacked, even when the person is attacking you. You see, we have free will. It's up to you to arrange your filters in a way that allow you, the soul, to be at the forefront of your life, of your consciousness. I am joy. That's what the soul says. I am love. That's what the soul says. I am unfairly being attacked. That's what the mind says. And the mind is saying that because it's either controlled by you, the soul, which you are, you're a soul, you have a body and a mind, or it's being driven, being managed by your body. Your body innately has trillions of cells, therefore its whole existence is based on survival. And so is your partner's. It's up to you to disengage your mind from the stimulation of fear that's coming from your body constantly. Now, you may point the finger at your partner and say, they're paranoid, they're really susceptible to their drive to survive. But you could also say, and so am I. Or I wouldn't feel attacked. I wouldn't feel like their fearfulness / paranoia, as you call it. Why should that affect you? It's not supposed to affect you. It's supposed to let you know that your partner is filled with fear. You love. I mean, what if it was your baby and your baby was afraid? Your toddler. You wouldn't go, oh my God, you're paranoid. You can walk up those steps. What's wrong with you? You wouldn't do that. You'd say, well, let's take it one step at a time. Now, I'm not saying you do that with your spouse. What I'm saying is you have the same perspective, which is loving, caring, nurturing. And you're careful not to trigger them. If your toddler is afraid of taking that step because they're getting too high, they're afraid of heights, you don't condemn them for their fear of heights, do you? Of course not. So that's how you handle it if it's your partner who is paranoid. You handle it as one who is loving, caring, and there for your partner. That's what you do. Now, what if you're the one who's paranoid? What if you're going, I just can't. I can't trust her. I can't trust him. I don't know what to do. I'm totally paranoid. I'm totally freaking out. If he or she goes out, my mind is imagining that they're going to meet somebody and I'm being driven crazy. It happens. It happens. It is the same affliction, that insecurity. And, you know, we don't practice Western psychology at the Marriage Foundation. We practice recreating your marriage. And it begins with And this is something I'm sure you've never heard before, unless you've been following us. It begins with learning how to master your own mind. Again, one of the greatest gifts, if not the greatest gift we have been given by God, is that free choice. We can make all these decisions. And people think, well, that means I could choose between blue and green, which is true, but that's pretty shallow. What it's really about is choosing how you perceive things, how your mind calculates what's happening, whether you choose to treat everyone with love and respect, including yourself, or whether you submit to that drive to survive that I mentioned earlier, because it's attacking us all constantly. That's the nature of this delusion we live in. We're souls. We're absolutely free. We're absolutely filled with joy, with love. That's our true nature. But we come into this creation and we have this challenge of the mind, which is driven by survival, the intention and everything going into it for self-preservation. And that's the challenge, isn't it? And what we have to do in order to feel joy in our marriage, in ourselves, in any relationship, is we have to learn how to transcend the day-to-day nonsense that's going on in the world and be love. Be your soul, in other words. Be joy. Be your soul, in other words. Be wisdom. Be your soul, in other words, because those are the three attributes of you, the soul. You have the free choice to lift yourself above the pummeling you get from the mind. Now, how do you do it? Unfortunately, I can't tell you the sure cure in a video because it requires learning how to master your mind. I've written about it somewhat in the books that I've written, and mostly we approach this in the courses that we have, the course for men and the course for women. Both of them begin with learning the SO technique, which is like an amazing tool. Came to me. But it works like crazy. Thousands and thousands, look at our reviews. Thousands and thousands of people have taken our courses and have begun in the same place I'm talking about now, with learning how to master your mind, using the SO technique, and it has changed their lives. And that's what it does when you learn how to master your mind. So, I hope this was really helpful to you. If it was, like the video, and definitely leave a comment if you want to. And for those of you who have been following and you're really tuned in with what we're doing here, and you yourself want to help others by becoming a TMF, the Marriage Foundation certified counselor, I'm working on creating that course now. Soon, we will have it on the website where you could sign up for it's pre-sale, so you get a big discount. And if you're interested in that, please go ahead and shoot an email over to the customer service department, and we'll let you know when we're ready for the pre-selling, when it's going to go on the website. But that's the direction we're going in. We want to train more counselors and have more people on the ground. So thank you for visiting with me. Thank you for allowing me to share these ideas with you. Our whole purpose here at the Marriage Foundation is to help you with your marriage, or if you're seeking your soulmate, help you with that, or if you need premarital counseling. We don't call it counseling, but a premarital course before you get married. We have that too. Thank you. God bless you. I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. Take care.